Okay, the other two charts that I want to explain is about the map. I'm trying to use the Google Map, but it requires the API key and etc. So I think let's just use the open source for the example. This is the map in the OpenStreetMap.org. So you can use this OpenStreetMap if you want to deal with the map. It directly show you the map in Korea and you can use it for free. So you don't need the API. You can just connect to, sorry, you don't need the key. You just need to connect the API of OpenStreet and then you can directly show it into your web. Now, just an example, let's make the method viewMap and then return the request to the viewMap.html. And then let's create the viewMap.html in the folder templates, and then let's copy paste the slide into the min.py and the HTML file. Okay, I'm just using the viewMap, simple viewMap in the min.py. Okay, we have the URL viewMap, and then we have the function viewMap, and then we have the viewMap.html. And I'm using this simple viewMap in the HTML file. Let's create another HTML file, viewMap. So in this map, we need to use the leaflet. This is the library from the OpenStreetMap. There are two libraries. The first is the CSS and the other is the JavaScript. And yeah, I'm just using the ID. In this case, this is the leaf map. Using the ID, I'm trying to put our university. Okay, so we need to set up the view. In this case, the view will be in this latitude and longitude. And the size is 14 because if you look at the map, there might be the zoom size. So what is the zoom size that you want to set at the first time? And then after that, for the layer, okay, so for the layering, you need to define what are the layer that you want to show. So there are several types of layer. Okay. And then yeah, you can set up like the PNG file. It means the image file. And here I want to set up the location. For example, I want to set up the dormitory. I want to set up our engineering building. I want to set up the shopping place. Maybe this is the Hanaromat. And then I want to set up the library. So actually, I took this one from the Google. And then I want to mark this location. I want to mark into the L. L is the location in the layer in the OpenStreetMap. So I'm going to put this coordinate and then I'm going to put the name into the map. So let's see how it will happen. So I'm going to use the viewMap. So here is the map. And then it shows the note here. If you click this one, then this mentioned about the university. Yeah, actually, this is the dormitory. I think the latitude and longitude is a little bit different with the OpenStreetMap. And yeah, this is the Hanaromat. And oh, this is the actually this library here. Actually, this one should be here. Yeah, it is a little bit different with the numbers, latitude and longitude in the Google Map. So sometimes you need to set up this one and then you need to check based on your inquiry. For example, if you click this one, yeah, it didn't appear, this one. So you need to go to the original OpenStreetMap, and then in this case you need to log in. Okay. So if you log in, then you can get the information in the exact numbers, and then after that you can use that numbers for the marker. Okay, so this is the marker. If you want to have more exact information, please log in. And there is also the guide. It means that you can register your ID. After you have your ID, then they will share your key. So you can get the exact information and including the name and etc. So the last one is MChart. Okay. So MChart is also another good chart, and it is a commercial chart. If you look at the pie chart, okay, so it is more advanced, and then they have the GPT in order to build the charts, but the MChart is more interactive. So there are many demos, but this demo is it's very static. If you buy, I think they provide more interactive chart. So I'm just giving you very small example. For example, if you want to have the now some charts are these are the chart in the static chart. So you can see the stock, you can see using the Gantt chart. Okay, so it's very how can I say? Yeah, it is very interactive if you can leverage this kind of chart. Okay. They have the examples, and you can just use these examples for you to understand how to make it into your web. Now I'm going to use one example from this chart. So I mentioned it as the multiple examples. So in the main.py, let's create another function, view multiple, and then I'm going to create the view multiple.html. And then I'm using the view multiple.html to show the data. So let's see this function, view multiple. And then I'm going to create a new HTML file, view multiple. In the file from the MChart is very long. So let's just copy and paste this one, because I give you the PowerPoint, so you can just copy and paste this one. And let's take a look how they define the charts using this JavaScript. So first, you need to collect the resources. So this is the resources from the MCharts. So you need to collect the mcharts.js, serial.js, and it depends on the charts that you want to use. If you are using the stock charts, then you need to call the mstock.js. If you are using the other kind of charts, so you need to check what are the JavaScript that you need to use. And yeah, they have another kind of export.min.js. They have also the CSS, and they have also the themes. Now let's just run this one first before explaining the code. I'm going to show the multiple. In our domain, in the industrial engineering, usually we have the time series data. So in the time series data, so you need to compare some numbers. So this kind of charts will be very good in order to show the difference between every numbers in the same time. For example, in the April 27, 2026, the first data set, yeah, it shows a number. So you can compare the first data set, the second data set, the third data set, and the fourth data set at the same time. And then you can select what is the bar chart for your data set. Let's say I'm going to set the third chart. Then you will see this is the third chart. If you see the fourth chart, then this is the fourth chart. And also you can see the zoom, whether you want to see only every month or every year, or you want to see year to date, or you want to see the maximum data. Okay. So they have a very good option when you visualize this kind of data, or this is the time series data. Now let's take a look how they generate this data. Actually, this is a random data, but later on you can put the data in the array format. Like last time, we know that JavaScript has the array format. So you can use the database and you can deliver the data into the JavaScript. And after the JavaScript receives the data, then they will publish it into the web. We will call the generate chart data. This is the generate chart data. First, we will get the date. And after we get the date will be set minus 500. So 500 means we have the 500 time minus. So here, if you look at the first data, okay, if you look at this one, today is 20 May, okay, and then this is 500 back from the current data. So it is until December 30. So there are 4 variables, A1, A2, A3, A4. And then we have another variable B1, B2, B3, B4. So for every of this one, they have generated random numbers. For example, the A1 is using this random number. The B1, it uses this number. A2, this random number. B2, this random number, and so on. So basically, this is only a random number. If you want to use the data in your database, then you can just modify this A1, A2, A3, and A4. And also the date, yeah, this is using the current date minus 500. So if you want to modify with your current date, then you can also modify this function. Here we have another kind of array. So if you look at this one, the chart data one, we want to push. So if you understand the data structure, in the data structure, we have the stack. We have the array. In JavaScript, we can apply the array, the stack array, using the push and pop. So push means I'm going to insert the data. The data that I want to push is the date. This is a new date, and the value is A1. A1 means the data that I generated based on the random value, and the volume B1. And I'm going to add with a random value 1500. So you can see that this number has been added with a value like 100, 1500, 1600, and so on. So the chart data too will be the same data with the new date, and the value is different. Now we are using the A2, and we have the volume B2 plus 5000, 1500. And also for the data in the chart data 3 and also the chart data 4. So all 4 data is randomized. And then we are going to make the chart of the M chart. So what is this one? We are going to make it in the chart diff. So chart diff is here. It is based on the style. So the chart diff will be the width as 100%. So it means you will use the total size of this web browser. And then the height will be 500. So the height here is 500. And then after you set the chart diff, you can set up what is the type, what is the theme, and what is the data set. So here the data set, let's set up the title. So the data set first is first data set. And then we have the from and to. From field to field. So we have value and volume. Then if you see this one, yeah, we have the value. This is volume and this is the value. So we have value, volume. And then the first data provider is chart data 1 and the category field is date. And this is the chart data 2. This is the chart data 3. This is the chart data 4. The format is the same, but the data is different. So you can just put the chart data after you initialize in the first one. And then you have another kind of parameters. In this case, I'm using the M chart and you have the panels. So here is the dictionary. So the dictionary, it refers to the parameters of the M charts. Of course, they have these parameters. You need to understand what is show category, what is the title, what is the head. And then there are some graph that you need to understand. For example, ID, what is the ID? What is the value field? And then what is the balloon text? The balloon text means the title and the value. And compare graph balloon text, the title and the value. So you have P. P is the bold, means you want to show the text in the bold. If you look at the here, then we have the first data set and the numbers is in bold. So we use combine with the HTML in order to show it into the hover. And the stock legend, we have the percent value and the value close. Same with the volume. Okay. So we want to show the volume. The volume is here. Yeah. And we have the graph 1. The graph 1 means the control setting for the G1. So if you look at the G1, yeah, this one is the ID G1. So this is the stock graph. So it every time if we call the stock graph, then it refers to this parameter setting. And then the chart cursor. So they have this definition. Of course, you need to understand by yourself if you are going to use this M chart. So you need to check what is the key and what is the value. Key value, key value, key value, key value, and the key value. And then there is also kind of selector. So this is also in the JavaScript. So they already have the definition. So if you click on the period on the left, for example, you click MM, then it means in the month. The label is 1 month. If you click on the second, then the period will be 1 year. If you click on this one, then it is the year to date. If you click on this one, then the period will be the maximum. So they have the period selector. And how they do this one? They have their own JavaScript. So we just collect this one. That's why when you click, this is the selector. Click, 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 then you can get this one. So the data selector will be in the left position and export enabled true. So you can see here, you can download the data. So some of the libraries, they have this function. So you can download, for example, you can download as PNG, GPG, SVG, and PDF. Or you can save the data as CSV, Excel file, or JSON file. Or you can print. So they have that option if you want to get the data for another analysis. And at the end, yeah, for this chart diff, we are using only a diff, and this chart diff, it refers to the chart diff for the style here. Okay. Okay, so this is the view multiple. Yeah, if you have interest on the time series data, I think you can use also this example. Okay, I think that's all for the data visualization. Okay, so we have learned a lot of data libraries, data visualization. So you look at the data tables, how we can show into the data tables. And then we learn about the Google chart, and we learn about some advanced charts like HighChart, OpenStreetMap, and M charts. Okay, any questions?